Women's Junior, welcome to night 12 here in Rod Laver Arena. Sit back and relax and enjoy the 2023 Light and Sound Show.
Returning to Australian stages for the first time in over a decade with his Do You Remember Tour, 25 years of Savage Garden, solo hits and more, please welcome to Rod Laver Arena, Darren Hayes performing Insatiable.
Turn me on, never stop. What it takes. I grow stronger in your hands. Oh, turn the lights down low, take it off. Let me show my love for you. Insatiable, turn me on, never stop. Wanna taste every drop of love for you. Sending you forget-me-nots to help you to remember. Oh, baby, please forget me not. I want you to remember. Gotta get up to get down. 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 We never sleep, there's just too much to do. So much to say, can't close my eyes. I feel like a better man, just being in the same room. We never sleep, there's just too much to do. So much to say, can't close my eyes when I'm with you. Insatiable, the way I'm loving you. Oh. Woo! Turn the lights down low, take it off, let me show my love for you. Insatiable, turn me on, never stop. Wanna taste every drop of love for you. Oh, sending you forget-me-nots to help you to remember. Gotta get up to get down. Please, we gotta get up to get down. Gotta get up to get down. I want you to remember. Gotta get up to get down. 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 Gotta get up to get down.
Performing the Semifinal music bowl February the 4th, and you can get your tickets from DarrenHayes.com. Please give Darren Hayes another round of applause. Ninja Carter, once again, welcome to Rod Laver Arena. It's great to have you here. It's night 12 completed. Night 12, the semi-finals, the final of the semi-finals. I should say the last of the semi-finals. Either Novak Djokovic or Tommy Paul going through to play Stefanos Tsitsipas in the final on Sunday night. Promises to be a big match here tonight. And it's great to have you all on to enjoy it. Can I please ask you, at this point in time, if you could please...
Well, good evening from Melbourne. It's evening time here in this magnificent sporting precinct that is the Rod Laver Arena. That is the men's locker room where the second of today's semi-finalists will emerge from to do battle right here for the honor to take on Stefanos Tsitsipas, who was a winner earlier today It's men's semi-final action at the Australian Open 2023, and what a day/evening we have had for it. Conditions could not be any better, and the fans have been fully engaged. Tsitsipas a winner earlier today, right there in 4 sets over Karen Khachanov, cementing his place in a major final for the 2nd time in his career. Buoyed by the fans here, of course, so many Greeks in Melbourne. It was that support that he needed in the 4th set, having match points in this 3rd, not being able to convert. But tonight it's Djokovic and Tommy Paul who will do battle. For Novak, this is familiar territory. For the American, it's very much uncharted waters. And he'll be looking to follow in the footsteps of as many great Americans who really have showcased their skills at this very arena. Sampras, Agassi, and of course Jim Courier. And he has the Courier connection. The man who coached Courier to his titles here, Brad Stein, is of course on the bag of Tommy Paul, has been for a while now, since 2019, and he knows what it feels like to go all the way, and he'll be hoping to infuse some of that confidence into his charge. Make sure that he gives him no limiting beliefs and help him believe that he can get the job done here this evening. It'll take a Herculean effort, we all know that, but that's what you spend the hours and the hours practicing for, so that if there's the slightest opportunity, you can grasp it with both hands. Just a couple of minutes now before the players will make their way from just under this centre court arena, and they'll walk down that magnificent avenue of champions, the tunnel of champions, and the heart rate will be elevated right now. A top junior was Tommy Paul. There's his coach Brad Stein. There's a physio, Sebas Kozarin, just having a little wrestle with him before he heads out. Craig Tarley, the main man here at Tennis Australia, he knows a thing or two about going down in a scrum. But a fine junior was TP. Of course, won the junior boys at Roland Garros. Was ranked number 3 in the world, and it's taken a while to make that transition from world-class junior to being a world-class pro. And that's what's happened in the last 18 months or so, and the man dressed in black has been a big contributing factor in that growth and in this journey. My name's Rob Koenig, delighted to have a 2-time major finalist alongside me, and Mark Philippoussis. Good evening, Flip.
Good evening, Robbie. It's a pleasure to call this one with you. It's going to be a good one.
So Tommy Paul looking to create a little bit of history for himself as he attempts to make it through to the first major final of his career. But this tunnel of champions, and of course Novak knows it well. He knows he is the champion of all these champions. No one has won more here than him. He is the top gun. But to be one of the best, you have got to be the best. And this American will be hoping that he can be a party spoiler this evening and do what no other player has ever been able to do against Novak at this stage, and that is beat him in a semi-final here at the Australian Open.
It's men's singles semi-finals here on Rod Laver Arena. Please welcome from the USA, Tommy Paul. And their opponent, tournament 4th seed Novak Djokovic.
Novak looking to get into the final one more time and hoping to achieve what is often known in Europe is La Decima, number 10. In order to do that, he has to win 2 more matches, Mark. And Tommy Paul this evening is going to be no pushover. And the winner with the right to take on Steph.
Yeah, there's still work to be done. A lot of tennis to be played. You know, Tommy's a hell of an athlete, hitting the ball well in his first semi-final. He's got nothing to lose here, Robbie. You know, he's going to come out swinging, enjoy the moment. And, you know, as we know in sports, we've seen anything can happen.
He's got a semi-final to lose, though, hasn't he?
He has. He's got a semi-final, of course. Look, he should be out here thinking he's got an opportunity. Absolutely. Anytime you walk on the court, you have to believe you've got a chance to win. And he wouldn't be in the semi-finals without that belief, self-belief.
Like it. Damien Dumassois is our chair umpire for this one.
Our guest, Sebastian. So, gentlemen, we have the net unit on this court, OK Live. Most of the close call are going to be shown on the screen. 25 seconds, I call the score, I start the clock. You have the blue towel, so blue box. You have the red towel, red box. After the coin toss, there's going to be a picture behind, please. All right? Tommy, is going to be your choice, AO or Ken Rosewall?
Ken Rosewall.
Ken Rosewall. AO. Serve. Stay. Picture, please.
Oh, props to Sebastian. That could be the most effective coin toss that we've seen. He's made sure he's got it over the net, Mark, but good revolutions on it. And, of course, that coin a fitting tribute to Ken Rosewall because he's the face of the AO 2023 coin. Of course, it was 7 years ago that legend won the Australian title aged 18, the youngest man still to have done so, and he won 3 more AOs after that, the last in 1972 at the age of 36. What a legend Muscles was his nickname, of course, because he didn't have any.
Let me tell you, he had the hell of a chip backhand, didn't he? I mean, what a legend, one of the all-time greats.
Okay, let's drill down into what these two are all about. Of course, we've mentioned that Tommy Paul was a great junior, and Mark, talk about making that transition from being one of the best juniors in the world to then trying to make it as a pro.
Yeah, it's not an easy transition, Robbie. You know, a lot of the time we're so focused on winning in juniors, which is important, don't get me wrong, and we forget to build that game and have those weapons that's going to help, you know, on the main tour. And with Tommy, it's taken a little bit more than maybe he had wanted to, but he's here right now and he's looking good.
This man took the express elevator to the very top of the game. I remember the first time I saw him really rip through the best players in the world in Canada in 2007. Yeah, when he was able to win that Masters 1000 title there, Mark, beating the likes of Andy Roddick, Rafael Nadal and Roger Federer. I think it was 7-6 in the third in consecutive matches. That's when we knew this guy was something special.
Yeah, when you beat those guys in one tournament and the way he did it, the biggest moments, finding a way, another gear to get over the line is, you know, as far as mentality, it doesn't get anything tougher than this guy.
First time that these two will be locking horns, so there will be somewhat of an intimidation factor to deal with if you're Tommy Paul. But how's this draw? Jan Lennart Struff in the opening round and taken out a pair of Spaniards that if you're able to get the better of them, you know you're doing something right.
Yeah, there is no easy matches when you're getting on the court against Bautista Agut or Fokina. I mean, look at that, those score lines.
Yeah, and then having to deal with facing your fellow countrymen, which in itself can be quite complicated. Novak in in stark contrast, just that one set that has been dropped.
Two-time French Open champion, three-time US Open champion, seven-time World champion, nine-time Australian Open champion.
Well, his path through to the semi-finals has been relatively smooth as far as the score lines are concerned. Of course, his biggest obstacle has probably been his left hamstring.
1 minute.
That's what he injured when he was playing Medvedev in the semi-finals in Adelaide, and all eyes have been on that. In fact, the only set he lost was to Enzo Quacco, Mauritian-born, playing under the French flag. And of course, the output from Enzo was so great that he himself is now out for the next couple of months because he's got a groin problem. He was pulled and pushed and stretched to every corner of this court, Mark.
Yep. When you get on the court with this guy, you got to be ready physically, don't you?
This guy is. He's one of the quickest guys on tour. Many of us
Ladies and gentlemen,
peers
this
have
match
suggested
replay
that
best of 5 tiebreak sets.
those wheels
Novak
are
Djokovic
well
won the
worn.
toss and chose to serve. And the warm-up.
So formalities out of the way, and we are good to go. Conditions could not be any better. It's an absolute perler of a day here. Very little wind, almost none to speak of. The protection from the stadium is perfect. We started with 128 in the main draw. We're down to the last 3. Stefanos Tsitsipas, a winner earlier today. Tommy Paul looking to create a piece of history for himself as he
Sit
attempts to
quickly,
make a
please,
major
ladies and
final
gentlemen.
for the first time in his career. But up against Novak Djokovic, a modern-day Michelangelo at his craft, the painter of so many beautiful
First set.
masterpieces on this canvas.
Novak
That is
Djokovic
Rod
to serve.
Laver Arena.
Ready? Play.
Game on. It's crazy to think that the weakest part of his game is a smash. Who has a smash as the weakest part of the game?
Not too often you're going to think about getting the guy in the net and give him that weak one. Let me throw up a smash, you know.
Exactly. Can we imagine if that's your tactic? Okay.
You don't want to risk it.
All. Let. First service.
Bit of a nervy start here. Backhand in the nets, mismatch, double fault. His brother front left, his buddy and the man who's working alongside Goran Ivanisevic sitting next to him there. Charlie, a former player, Spaniard is Charlie. He's been traveling with Novak since the end of last year. And his faithful physio, Milana Manovic, front right. Break point for Tommy. Talk about the importance of the start, especially for Tommy Paul in this match, Mark.
If he can get a break up, relax even more, that would be that'll be incredible for him. Very well needed first serve from Djokovic, setting up that forehand.
Advantage, Djokovic.
You can see the heavily strapped left quad. More protection for the thigh for Novak. Injured the hamstring in his match against Daniil Medvedev in Adelaide almost 3 weeks ago now. Funny thing was, it was 7 games into that match. He's just been nurturing it ever since. Tommy Paul coming right in for the second serve.
Yeah, not too often, Robbie, do we see Djokovic, you know, missing 2-3 balls coming out in the match and starting off like this. I feel like this is an opportunity.
Absolutely. Front right, Brad Stein, coach, physio. Next to him, Sebas. Mum's in town, second row, top left. Great to see Jill, who came for his previous match. Great scenes after Tommy beat Ben Shelton. Big hugs all around. Wow, this is nervy.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He just definitely looks unsettled. I mean, he was switched on 2 nights ago, but today, right now, he looks a little unsettled. So that's why I was saying this is an opportunity for Tommy that if you don't take these opportunities, I mean, he has to right now.
Second look at a break point.
Again, that big first serve we needed this time out wide. 199 kilometers an hour. So it's giving it a good pop.
Best players just got this unbelievable ability to produce the goods and raise the level of their games when they need to, and especially on serve.
Advantage, Djokovic.
What is it, Mark? You had a great serve. Is it the fact that you just hone in, you concentrate harder when you break point down?
I think it's also confidence too, and the belief of knowing that you know, you've got the serve there when you need to.
Game, Djokovic.
So Novak holds just. And Tommy Paul is going to have to step up to the line to serve for the very first time. But of course, he'll be up against the greatest returner the game has ever seen. And he's up against some serious numbers, Mark.
Robbie, like normally when you got around 40% there deep on the returns, you're pretty happy. He's got 68. And that's off a first, this is his first serve return. I mean, those numbers, those stats, it just shows why there's just so much pressure on the opponents to hold serve.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's important that people at home remember that's first serve returns. When he gets it deep into the corner, you can see you're in big trouble against him. And the fastest average first serve return speed of the 8 quarterfinalists is Djokovic. That's exactly what we were talking about.
Love 15.
Fold.
Of course, got Mark alongside me, but caught some close to the action. We'll be getting a real feel for what's going on down there is Josh Eagle. Good evening, Josh.
Good evening, Robbie. Good evening, Mark. Yes, it's a wonderful atmosphere. I actually took the headphones off when the players walked in because it was an enormous reception. So full house here, and I've got to say it was an unusual start for Novak first up, but we know he's played brilliantly, and I expect him to be really aggressive. And already off to a fast start here is Novak on return. That's to be expected. And look, he's tried to keep the points short all tournament. Whether that's anything to do with the hamstring, we'll find out as this goes on and also further into the tournament. But he's been ultra aggressive. I expect the same tonight. For Tommy Paul, well, he needs to be the disruptor. Can he come out and give us something different? Time will tell.
Fold.
Talk about keeping the points short, Josh. And I don't know if this stemmed from the ATP finals last year in Turin. I watched his match against Taylor Fritz, and he looked to be tiring there in the semi-finals. And a lot of us were wondering how he was going to hold up against Casper Ruud in the final. And he came out all guns blazing. I don't know if you remember that final. And the early break does indeed go to Novak. And his use of the backhand down the line, Josh, early on in the match was, for me, the barometer of, okay, I'm coming to play and I'm bringing my very best aggressive game.
Well, it's the best backhand we've ever seen in the game, as far as I'm concerned. And when he's changing direction with it and he's ripping it down the line with depth, no one can defend against that. And as you can hear, the atmosphere tonight, he's in good form and he's off to a great start. Boy, he's going to be hard to stop.
2-love. Tough opening service game. See how this one shakes out.
Love 15.
When I saw him in Canada in 2007, when he went on to win that second Masters 1000 after Miami early on in the season, and when he beat Rafael Nadal and Federer, I could not believe how well he changed direction on the ball. It was unbelievable.
Let first service.
There's some of those linear strikes, Josh, and just give our viewers at home a sense of how difficult it is when you are hitting the ball down the line, and why.
Well, what he does is he just takes so much time away with you because the ball is coming at pace, it's coming at depth. So typically the easier shot in tennis is to go cross court, but as you can see here, the footwork impeccable, timing impeccable. So hard to defend against that type of ball striking.
Fold.
And I think, Robbie, what we don't talk a lot about with Novak is he demands so much from his team. It's at the start of each year, of course. I'm sure there's a big review where he goes to them and says, how can I get better? So he expects a lot, demands a lot from his team, and he's always looking to improve. He's looking to serve volley from time to time, and he's always making improvements. So it's evident with his start right there, serving and bowling. So he's got plenty of strings to his bow.
Changed up the team a little bit. His old physio's back in the mix. Uli no longer here.
Again, Djokovic.
After a shaky opening service game, Djokovic has steadied the
Djokovic
ship.
leads 3 games.
He's up 3-love. He's got an early break.
White towels. White towels.
New record, of course, for Tommy Paul. Switched at the tail end of the season. Playing with the Yonex now. He was travelling with the Wilsons. I think he brought a couple along, but decided to leave them in the room in Adelaide and play his matches there, not have the crutch to fall back on.
Yeah, Petri was saying that Brett Stein wanted him to actually put some
Take your
more
seats,
weight
please,
on his racket,
ladies and
go a little
gentlemen.
heavier. And
Time.
they did on the Yonex. They went 4 grams heavier. I didn't think he wanted to mess with that during the season, and now that they had the off season, he changed to Yonex, and it's 4 grams heavier. And like you said, Robbie, he left those old ones at the hotel and never looked back.
Good stuff.
I think it was a good call for him.
Of course, got our Prime Minister in the house, front and centre, Anthony Albanese. Second of the men's semi-finals of the Australian Open 2023. No one has ever beaten Djokovic at this stage in this event. Mark, what makes Novak such a good mover?
15 love.
I mean, he's just so strong. He's so strong and balanced. He never looks out of balance or never looks rushed when he's pushed out wide to his backhand open stance. He's got plenty of strength, and he pushes off for the next one. And it's strength, it's flexibility. It's like it's the whole package. another thing he does well, Robbie, is he reads the play well.
He certainly does.
Et final.
And you don't want to go down an early break against this guy, because if you do, early breaks, the opening 4 games, Djokovic goes on to win the set 96% of the times. The average is 78, so he's in a different stratosphere to everyone else. Great front runner, like all great players are, Mark. Just talk about those powers of anticipation.
Yeah, it's one of those players where he knows normally someone might want to run around the backhand and hit a forehand, because the forehand's the biggest weapon. Like, both his sides are weapons. You know, he feels just as comfortable on the forehand as he does on the backhand. So for him, he doesn't feel like he needs to rush to get around a certain shot to hit a certain weapon. He's happy to hit a backhand if it's there, a forehand if it's there. Always feels like he, that he's in control. That's a way of looking at it too when you play against him. It's like, okay, look, there's no weaknesses, right?
40,
so
30.
It's going to be a battle. You're going to have to leave everything on the court, take each point out as it comes, but most importantly, if he gives you an opportunity, you need to take it, like Tommy Paul had in that first service game.
Tommy Paul is up and running in the second of the men's semi-finals. Meaningful digit alongside his name.
Djokovic leads 3 games to 1.
Well, Gates in the house, loves his tennis. It wasn't a match in Africa when Roger and Rafa came out to my part of the world, to South Africa, the largest tennis audience ever to watch a tennis match. I think it was just over 58,000 people. He was there with Trevor Noah to the annual charity match that Roger does for his foundation.
Did you ask him for a loan, Robbie?
I was so nervous, couldn't go there, Josh.
Lovely Cain.
Despite the fact that Djokovic is 3-1 up here, gentlemen, I still don't get the feel that he's striking the ball nearly as well as what he has in some of his previous matches. Look at that. Double digits in the unforced errors already.
It's only within 4 games. Like I said, it's unlike him, Robbie.
I think the fact that these guys haven't played against each other also, there's a period here early in this match where they're just feeling out, getting used to the pace, the type of ball that comes back against each other. So I don't expect this to last long, and as you're alluding to, Mark, if you're Tommy Paul, you need to strike pretty quickly. You're going to get so few chances, and when you get them, you have to strike.
Not sure if you're saying anything about not being able to see the ball properly. My Serbia not very good there, Robbie. I'm just guessing.
talk about geometric perfection. How's that? 99% out is 100% in.
Touch it.
Prime Minister enjoyed that. It's that sliding serve down the middle. Soft slider. As close as the previous one was to that, when he just clipped the line, that one has just missed it.
Advantage, Djokovic.
Djokovic still clearly unhappy with something, whether it's the level of his play or the input from his camp. He wants more from them by the sounds of things, but still, he's up 4-1. And exactly what you were alluding to, Josh.
Yeah, he's not overly happy, that's for sure. There's a fair bit of dialogue backwards and forwards with his team. I mean, you see that a fair bit, though, with Novak, but sometimes he uses that for motivation. He likes to play with a bit of aggression at times, and, you know, sometimes it's... He comes out here, he can be a little flat, but not tonight. He's agitated. He's got Goran in his sights. I'm sure Goran will be feeling a little uneasy in the chair out there.
Time.
Tommy Paul, who started this event ranked number 35 in the world. Has moved nicely up the live rankings, has the American. Currently sitting at number 19. Top 20 player for the first time in his career, but struggling here. 1-4 down. Just to give you an idea how steep the climb is, if he were to make it through to his first major final, he'd go from currently ranked number 19 on the live rankings to Number 15 had just scoot his fellow countryman Francis Tiafo back a spot.
That was quick, Robbie.
I'll tell you what that was. That was nuclear athleticism, Mark.
Now, getting to this ball is one thing, but look what he did when he got to it. To have the hands to do that, that was impressive.
Perfect camera angle here.
Look at that.
Got there with time, didn't he?
I mean, no movement at all from the racket head. Great hands.
He knows a good shot, and Novak knows some good wheels when he sees them. Tommy's got some good treads. But that's just an indication of how good it has to be to win points against the 9-time champion here. How about the technique on the forehand? Notice how his wrist is out in front of the ball. Excuse me, in front of the racket before he hits the forehand.
It's different. It's different, but he gets some, you know, nice whip at it, some wrist action.
Does it actually matter? Is all that matters is when you come to make contact
yes,
with the ball?
I agree, Robbie.
Okay.
Everyone's different, but that contact point is important.
I think it's definitely evident courtside that Novak is hammering that side of Tommy Paul, the forehand. If you're going to have a take back like that, you want to be quick to get the racket face back to vertical upon impact. Otherwise, you'll make some unforced errors, and that's what's happened tonight. The ball's gone in there with pace. He hasn't been able to handle it so far.
Sending Tommy Paul from pillar to post.
30-14.
Caught him a little off guard by going straight to him, I think.
He's gone from leaking unforced errors on the forehand to hemorrhaging them at the moment, has Tommy Paul, and that double break will pretty much seal the deal for Novak.
Djokovic leads 5-1.
You would think in this opening set.
Yeah, Robbie, they both have 13 unforced errors, but it's always when you make those unforced errors that makes a difference.
First service. Let. First service.
Well, they often say when you're playing against one of the greats of the game, they have a set and a break advantage over you. The locker room power that they have over a player that they haven't played before is that great. The aura of the player is such. But of course, you were able to defy those kind of odds when you, as a youngster, beat Pete Sampras right here. Do you remember that day, Mark?
I do, yes. It was a long time ago, but it was a night match here, and you know, came out swinging and played a good match, and it was an enjoyable night.
Yeah. 13 begin.
You know, this set has obviously run away from Tommy, but he's got to try and find some rhythm here before the end, so when he comes out serving first, he could get some momentum going and have a lead for the first time in this match.
Yeah. 30-on.
Djokovic with 15 unforced errors already. And he's got a 5-1 lead.
14.
That shot has been clutch. Struggled in his opening service game, had to fight off a couple of break points. But made some meaningful first serves when he's needed to in this opening set. Ace number 5 has brought up set point.
Fold.
Both guys.
Not when you arrive at the tower.
No. Not the way it works. No.
You can put it at the next window.
The low kids are not allowed to give me the towel.
Yes.
Tell me how it works if it's not working.
You know it depends on the rally. Also, along with the rally, if you make a couple of throws, you don't need to watch the towel.
It's the first time that I'm going to get the towel this game. And we start the clock before I touch the towel. Well done.
Novak just feeling that Damien Dumassoir has started the serve clock before he's touched the towel. And Damien just saying to him that's not how it works. How it does work is Damien calls the score, and then once he's called the score, he starts the serve clock. Sometimes, of course, the cheer umpire allows a little bit of latitude if it's a long rally, but he doesn't have to, does he, Josh?
Absolutely not. He has, it's up to his discretion, but Big point here for Novak, down break point, but what's very noticeable, these tennis balls are huge down here. They're fluffed up so much, so one game away from new balls. If Novak can get out of this game, it'll be huge because they'll be changing new balls next game.
Unforced errors continue to mount, and perhaps Tommy Paul will indeed be able to extract something out of this opening set. It's
Djokovic
5-2.
5 games to 2.
I've often thought, Josh, that we should have somebody independent that starts the serve clock rather than chair umpire. And I'm all for making it 30 seconds, but as soon as the point finishes, that's when you hit the clock.
Oh, I totally agree, and I think that's where the sport will get to. There'll be technology that must be in the pipe works where as soon as the ball goes dead, bang, the clock goes on. They need to get consistent with the speed of play, because then it's up to the discretion of the umpire. And as we know, everyone presses the button at different times. So, yeah, definitely what the sport needs. And different players get different leeway as well. So we know that. So definitely up for debate.
Well, we've had just under 40 minutes of play right now. I want to hear your scorecard out of 10 for both players. What are you giving them in the opening 40 minutes, given what you've seen here on the Rod Laver Arena, Mark?
Look, I mean, Djokovic is up 5-2, but he's not playing nearly his best tennis. There's so many unforced errors. Tommy as well, a lot of unforced errors. The fact that he's only down one break with all the unforced errors he's had, I think, what, 13 and 17 for Djokovic, and he was serving for it 5-1. That's just crazy.
This is Novak at the change of ends, chatting with the chair umpire. You can see the serve clock in the background was at 19. No more discussion. Doesn't want to have any discussion, wants to stay focused. Maybe this is just a little bit of good fortune that Tommy needed. There's his girlfriend, Paige, sitting next to his mum. And they're excited. So give him a second win, Mark.
Yeah, I mean, you can almost feel a shift in momentum here. Definitely the body language has changed for Tommy. Now it's only one break. Robbie, you know, he holds here at 5-3. Anything can happen.
And then it's the whole
Please,
psychological
stay
effect.
quiet between first and second serve. Thank you.
From Tommy Paul's point of view, right? You know, suddenly the set's not 6-1.
Yes.
It's 6-3 maybe. Feeling a bit better about yourself. Walking a little taller.
Finding some rhythm on the serve, on the groundies. A little more relaxed. Arm feeling lighter. Being able to swing a little easier.
Djokovic leads 5 games to 3.
I mean, how's that body language now, right? When you lose a set 6-1 and it's probably head down and get to your chair as quickly as possible.
Yeah, looking at his box, freaking away. What do I do? How do I get into this match? But he is definitely into this match right now, and the crowd knows it.
It's just what the crowd wanted. They wanted a competitive encounter. Now suddenly they've got it here at 5-3.
Wow, did he collapse and decelerate on that one. It's definitely gotten interesting. Here we go, love 15. It's a third double fault from Djokovic.
Unbelievable the amount of enforced errors coming in the net.
Love 13.
Yeah. Hey, Josh, it's tough to tell from here, but that ball toss looks very low and very far out in front, especially on the first serve.
Yeah, absolutely. He's throwing it way too out in front. Tiny bit of wind behind him, but that is not the reason. Yeah, he's got that way out in front. Needs to bring it up higher, bring it back. He's tight, no doubt about it. And quite possibly the worst couple of games he's played all tournament for Novak.
I mean, if you're Tommy Paul too, guys, he's got to be sitting on that wide one on the deuce.
Yeah, I think so.
Wow. I did not see this one coming 5 minutes ago.
18-14.
I think we all thought sooner rather than later he was going to rein it in. Cut down on the unforced errors, but Novak simply cannot find any rhythm from the back of the court. Tommy Paul's got a chance to get back on serve after being 5-1 down.
Here we go with that wide one again.
And he really hurt Andrei Rublev with that. Rublev as well didn't look for it.
You almost got to give him the tee. Just 2 feet to your right. When someone's serving it that good out wide, you give him the tee.
Tommy going toe-to-toe with the Joker. And coming out on top after 30 shots. And can you believe it? We are back on serve.
Djokovic leads 5-4.
Robbie, I want to know the last time that Djokovic in one set has hit 22 unforced errors. In one set.
Yep. And it's not done yet, Mark.
I mean, I think he's had 20 before this match. He might have had 20 unforced errors for the whole tournament.
That's why you just never know in sport.
No.
That's why you got, as a coach, it's so important the information you give your player. Brett's down front right. Spoke about this at the start of the match, Mark. The importance of not putting limiting beliefs on your player, because you just never know how someone's going to come out. Every day is a new day. Yes, Novak's been unbelievable, almost untouchable thus far, but it's a new day, right?
It's a new day, and I can tell you one thing. Tommy's self-belief has grown in the past 4 games, that's for sure.
He's not out of the woods yet. He's still serving to stay in this opening set. Shot that has been forged in steel.
30-love.
The opening couple of rounds of this tournament has just gone missing in action. Backhand of Djokovic now. That is the 14th unforced error that has come from that side.
40-love.
Mark, talk to us about that feeling.
40-15.
One of your best shots is just not there. What happens on those days?
It's, I mean...
The serve's not firing in a big match for you.
Yeah,
what's your thought
serve's
process?
not firing, going to a heavy second serve as a first serve to get some rhythm and try and find it. And for Novak, I mean, I've never seen him make this many unforced errors, especially off that backhand side. I think it's a mental thing right now. You know, maybe that dispute with that talk he had with the chair umpire has taken more out of him than we thought, or definitely lost some focus.
Absolutely, and you're right. That's where it all started. The crowd got behind Paul. Novak just lost his concentration for a fraction. And the American is all over him, like he's all over the net on that volley. And could this be a Zenyatta-like finish to the opening set, coming from the back of the pack to pip Djokovic at the post? We'll have to wait and see.
Please.
Yeah, even if you're sitting on that wide one, that one's going to be tough to come back. That was pretty much perfect. Nice response from Djokovic, finding 2 first serves. Some quick free points.
14 love. Djokovic.
It's more like it. Right back on track. 6-5, second set.
Djokovic leads 6 games so far.
Well, plenty to ponder on this sit down.
Time.
Well, if you're joining us for the first time, a warm welcome from the Rod Laver Arena. It's the second of the men's semi-final matches. Stefanos Tsitsipas, a winner earlier today. The winner of this one will take him on in Sunday's showpiece final. Djokovic was up 5-1, double break in this opening set. Had a chat to Damien Demissoir, wasn't happy about how quickly he started the clock after 1 point, and since that discussion, he has not been the same.
Tell you what, though, all credit to Tommy finding some rhythm off the ground strokes. Changing direction beautifully in that point. That one 2-12 out wide. I mean, he's feeling it right now.
Fastest serve of the match for TP.
Fold.
I just think he's telling himself it's getting a little bit contagious off that backhand side there, Josh. Can't relax in a service game when you're 30 love up against Novak.
That's right, guys. He's done so well, Tommy, to get back into this set. It was a poor start. I mean, to work so hard to get back in now, to be under pressure at 30 all, he needs to hold on here. He needs to find 2 first serves, a couple of cheap points, then have a swing in the tiebreak.
I believe he's going to continue to go for that first serve. He's got a second serve. He's got to hit that first one.
Let first service. please.
And there you go, from 30 love
30,
now to
40.
30-40, and set point for Djokovic. As you said, Josh, you cannot afford to give Djokovic an inch, any opportunity to get back into it.
Second set point for Novak. Djokovic wins the opening set, but boy, did he take the scenic route to get there. Just under an hour, he wins it 7-5.
7 games to 5.
In fighting mode this evening, and he's had to dig deep to win that opening set.
He worked a lot harder than he had to, didn't he, Robbie?
24 enforced errors, and 14 of those coming off his backhand wing. Remember, he had his first set point at 5-1. Just a sample of some of the highlights early on. He was hitting it okay. It wasn't great. Tommy Paul's highlights were few and far between early on. Novak was just swinging away. Wanting to hear it from his legion of fans.
Second set.
Asking them to bring it on. It's a set that's definitely got away from him, but not from Novak.
Djokovic to serve.
Managed to rescue it in the end. Just to give you an idea of how tough it is to beat this guy. When he wins the opening set at the Australian Open, Mark, how many times do you think after Djokovic has won the opening set, he's gone on to lose the match?
How many times?
Yep.
Not too many, I would imagine, Robbie. You tell me.
I can tell you that when Djokovic wins the opening set at the Australian Open, he is a very healthy 80 wins and 1 loss. The only loss against Stan Wawrinka. Quarterfinals in 2014. That epic match that Stan got him in 9-7 in the 5th. Which made the effort from Wawrinka even more impressive. The fact that he had lost the opening set and came back to win it in exactly 4 hours. So that is the task that faces Tommy. Josh, are you seeing anything from a technical perspective why this backhand is so off this evening?
40-15.
Not really. I think I expect him to get better tonight. I mean, it's hard to pinpoint anything specific with the technique. I mean, he started hitting that backhand beautifully at the start of the match. It was more just a lack of concentration. But I like that stat you've pulled out, Robbie, because Tommy Paul would still think he's a chance.
Cain, Djokovic.
It's more like it.
Chatting with Brad Stein yesterday,
First game, second
in
set.
that discussion, he said, it doesn't matter what anyone else believes, but Tommy and I, we believe. So he's sort of alluding to the fact that they genuinely believe that they are a chance. Time will tell. That stat was certainly overwhelming. There's no doubt about it. But just interesting, I thought, too. When he won that first set, Novak, he was very animated towards the crowd. There was a few boos, a few cheers, and that sort of attitude of, okay, guys, this is when I play my best if you're gonna give that type of attitude towards me. So I expect Novak to get better as this match goes on right now.
I was going to ask you, Josh. So there were a couple of boos. It's tough to hear up here in the booth, but it sounded a little just loud.
Yeah, no, that's what he was up and about. That's why he was, you know, giving it the fist, and he was pumped up. He was like, "Bring it on, and I'm gonna play even better." That was the attitude.
Yeah, we know that kind of stuff just gets him more focused. I think he, like you said, he plays better. He raises his level for things like that. It's almost like he looks for it.
Semifinal.
Get hit on the net. That camera is right inside the center strap.
That's it.
Once again, a chance for Novak to get an early break on in a set.
Not too often do you see Djokovic, the one wanting to have the point
40.
end Some big hitting here from Tommy Paul. Great depth on the forehand side. And they're moving up to that one nicely.
Novak checking out of that rally.
Cain, Djokovic.
But you've got to play back-to-back points well against this guy.
Robbie, I know you love the stats. You talk about when he wins that first set, but what about when he wins 2 sets and he's up 2 sets to love? He's only ever lost 1 match in his life. Who was that against?
There's a connection with your wife.
I knew you would know. Not sure Mark Philippoussis knows, though.
Tim?
Nope. Before Team came on the scene.
What's that?
Before Team came on the tennis scene. This guy was before him.
Connection to Babsy, Josh.
I mean,
You got me. I've got
Yeah,
no
he's an
idea.
Austrian player.
He's an Austrian.
Got to top 10, an Austrian player.
Got the
You
tops.
probably may have even played against him latter in your career and early in his career.
Give you one more clue after this point.
Is he a lefty?
Yes.
Oh my gosh. I can't think of him, but
Semifinal.
that must have been very early on in his career.
Great steal.
Great anticipation, wasn't it? Beautiful coverage.
15-30.
That's some great athleticism from both guys. And this is good anticipation. Look at this. What an awesome angle.
What awesome athleticism. Tommy Paul electrifying the locals with his movement there. Okay, put us out of our misery. The only player to beat Novak from 2 sets to love down is
Malzer.
Jürgen Melzer.
Man,
Did it at the French Open, of course.
what year was at the French Open? What year was that?
2009, if I'm
Oof.
not mistaken. Possibly 2010.
13-14.
Spot on, Josh.
21 years old. He was then. Djokovic.
Well, he already won a major by then, so it's a big win for the Southpaw from Austria.
Huge win.
This will be a huge point right here now for Tommy Paul. He's got a chance to break back.
He might get a code violation here. Nope. For a time violation, sorry. It was close.
And he's breathing heavily, Josh.
Absolutely. I think he's investing so much, and you can just see there he was motioning to his team that he needs some food or possibly drinks. So I'm sure they'll race that out to him. I think also the fact that he's investing in this so physically to get to a 3-love lead, a set and 3-love. He knows scoreboard pressure will be massive from that point on.
Amazing how often Djokovic has brought the net into play off that backhand side today.
And Tommy Paul moving up to that one nicely, taking her on the rise. Djokovic guessing the wrong way. Djokovic refusing to miss on these big points, on these break points. Just like a wall on the other side.
Yes.
All tournament long, he hasn't played many of these long, grueling rallies. We've seen him dictate. We've seen him up on that baseline, dominating. And as you can see there, guys, that's the magic potion. It's about to get run out to Novak, turn him into Super Novak.
Brilliant.
Sense the importance of this game, can't you, Josh? I mean, looking at Djokovic leaning over there, just is trying to scrape over to get the change of ends, and it's a huge game from Tommy.
Be third time lucky.
Oh.
I mean, we're talking about Tommy Paul, but what you can't see up in the booth is just how well he is moving. He is moving so well laterally, but up to those short balls, Tommy Paul, for me, has to be in the top 5 movers in our game on a hard court. That's how well he's moving, and that's how many balls he's retrieving tonight.
Djokovic. Djokovic.
A Herculean hold from Novak. And he takes a 3-love lead in the second set.
Djokovic leads 3 games to 0.
Tell you what, Mark, he's breathing heavily.
Yeah.
It's just like he's come off his 8th 400.
Yeah, I was watching him underneath the towel, just trying to get his breathing under control. Something tight onto those bottles. I'm sure if they're
Time.
gel or some energy recovery fluid.
Djokovic really breathing heavily on that change of ends. Towel over his head, almost meditating, maximizing that sit down. I'll tell you what, he is walking awfully slowly to come and receive serve here.
Thank you.
He's just consumed a little tablet of some sorts. That's what he's chewing, and now just pointing to the people behind Tommy Paul. Again, this is good for him because he's trying to maximize this time now, and he can use those people behind TP as an excuse to maximize that time, all within the rules.
Love 15. Love 30.
You can feel this encounter
15-30.
just getting tougher and tougher.
And you just hope at this stage of the match, Tommy Paul looks down the other end and just sees Novak is struggling. I just wonder whether he's actually aware of that. Not so sure at the moment. he's done a lot of good work, played well, but he has to check down the other end of the court.
That is a proper forehand. That's more like it.
30 all.
Tattooed that one.
This is a must hold from Tommy. Cannot afford to get down 2 breaks like he did in that first one. So I don't know if he's going to be able to get back like he did. Just 3 easy unforced errors so far in this game.
Chance for Novak to go double break in the second set.
Let. First service.
Remember, he was up a double break in the opening set, 5-1. Inchity closing out the set, 7-5, as you can see there. Double trouble for Tommy.
Please.
And that forehand of his, Josh, has been a little bit of a liability today.
It has been, but Novak has targeted it. He's gone in hard and fast, and that was the game plan early on. And he's broken that side down to a certain degree. But again, I have not seen Novak physically like this. He's maybe just talking about he's on a bit of a dip at the moment. He has to just try and hang in until he gets a second win. But he sat down over there when he's getting the towel. I've never seen that before.
I mean, is it humid down there?
Not at all. It's beautiful. It's stunning. I just hard to pinpoint.
Okay. Any chance they'll tag a Queenslander in there, Josh?
Well, I'm not so sure about that, but I just wonder whether, you know, the average rally length, I know you guys have stats in front of you, but maybe the average rally length is a little longer tonight than what he's had to play all tournament.
Yeah, Josh, I think that's a good call. Could be right on that one.
Well, I can tell you what, there's been a decent uptick from set 1 to 2. When you have a look at the average rally length, check out this 5 to 7. You might not think that's a lot, but in percentage terms, that's 40%. And your output is 40% more intense, 40% longer. It's going to take something out of you. Novak's average for the tournament is 5 shots, having to work a lot harder here in the second set than what he was having to work in the opener. But the good news for his fans, he's up 5-love.
Ice? Can I have some ice, please?
was asking the umpire, Damien Dumaswell, for some ice. I think an ice towel is in order. It's been a strange old match, this one.
You guys both know it. You see the players from time to time, they have a bit of a dip, but yeah, it looks like to me Novak's just trying to hang on until he gets a second wind. And what this has done, though, this has sharpened his focus, and he's looking for quality on every game he plays. So whilst he's hurting physically, it's helped sharpen his focus, there's no doubt about it.
Thanks for that, Josh. Josh, I want to again take you back to the tail end of the year last season when he played Taylor Fritz, and he was very much like this with fatigue in that match. He was taking time between points. He looked like he was really struggling, and when he came out against Casper Ruud, that shot there was brought out very early on in the contest, and he played the kind of tennis that we've seen him play this tournament so far. Just so aggressive from point number one. Just what you were alluding to then.
Yeah, I think so. I think with the combination of the hamstring issue, he has felt he's tried to keep the points shorter. That's been a clear tactical tournament long.
13.
And right here, right now, with a dip in the energy, he's just trying to buy a bit of time until he starts to feel good again. He's already looking a little better than he did about 5 minutes ago, but certainly pretty comfortable now, a game away from 2 sets to love up.
$14-15.
Spank you very much.
14-13.
More like it.
Game point.
And you get something that's short and central, you've got to try and hurt Novak. Got to take it on.
Djokovic leads 5 against 2-1.
Brad Stein very much involved with Jim Courier in his pomp, and he saw Jimbo produce some incredibly big forehands throughout the course of his career. Of course, twice a champion here was JC. Okay, been here before. Novak serving for the set at 5-1.
Left. First service. Love.
Wow.
15-all.
course, no father in his box this evening. Sir Jan deciding to stay back at the hotel and watch the match from there after getting himself into there. He is everywhere.
30 all.
Look at the smashing grip there.
That's some good height. Huh? Got up. There's that one. I think he was just over with that point, wasn't he, Robbie?
Yep.
Fold.
Just relentless, point after point. Chance to go up 2 sets to love.
Second set, Djokovic.
Well, Djokovic
Against the wall.
with a 2 sets to love lead now. He is almost unbeatable from this position.
Djokovic leads 2 sets to love.
Open the little black box here. Yes. If you want, put some eyes on it. Yes.
Tommy Paul is going to leave the court for a little bit of a reprieve and perhaps, by the looks of things, to change his kit. Like we mentioned, Sir Jan got himself into a sticky situation yesterday with some fans after the match, so Novak's dad choosing to stay at home, but he'll be very happy with some of the numbers that his son has posted, Mark, in that second set. What do you make of them?
Yeah, it was a lot cleaner set for Djokovic. Look at that, only 6 unforced errors compared to what 23 he had in the first set. You know, a lot cleaner. Break points 1, 2 out of 3. Very dominant as always, and 4 aces. It was a lot more of a dominant set than what we've been usually, you know, seen from Novak during this event.
Well, Novak Djokovic has been illuminating this Rod Laver Arena for a long time now. 9 times a champion. Of course, the first time winning this title back in 2008. And it was this sort of scintillating form that we saw early on in his career that made us realize that it wasn't going to be long before he was a multiple major winner. He's certainly been the best of the best to play here. And we saw some of that stuff in the second set. The bonus points, unfortunately, for shots like that from Tommy. You can only but stand up and applaud shot making of that quality. Josh was reminding us earlier on, if you weren't with us, when Novak has won 2 sets at the majors, won the opening 2 sets, he's only ever lost to 1 player. And that was Jürgen Melzer back in 2010 at the French Open. He has 237 wins and 1 loss.
And guys, to be fair, this could be 6-1, 6-1. He was up 5-1 in the first set.
Had a set point as well.
That's right. I mean, yeah, Tommy Paul did well to get back, but that was largely by the unforced error rate from Novak. So in reality, this could easily be 6-1, 6-1, and we'll be sitting here thinking, wow, he's playing well. So that was a better set for sure. I thought he played a lot better set, Novak, and I just think he settled down. Once he started to feel the pinch physically, that sharpened the focus, and then he just changed gears. So I'm looking forward to seeing how he comes out and plays this 3rd set. I think we'll see an improved Novak once again. And also, I'm interested to see what Tommy Paul does. He has to do something different. He cannot afford to think that he's going to get back into this match just grinding and playing these long rallies. That will not work. Does he have the weapons to do anything different? Well, that's the question.
Well, let's ask the question. Let's ask the question if that is it. Does he have the weapons to do damage, Mark?
As Josh said, I mean, he's got to be more aggressive. You know, Novak is tuned in now. He's not making those unforced errors he did in the first set from 5-1, 23 unforced errors in the first set. He's going to be a little bit more aggressive. That first serve percentage is going to definitely be higher. And look to use that forehand. I know he's played not to come to the net. I know he likes to stay back, but when you're down 2 sets to love, you've got to look to try something different. It's never easy against Novak when he's, you know, playing like this, but something's got to be done.
Yeah, hasn't certainly volleyed once in this contest so far, but of course, the flip side of that is it's difficult to attack this guy when he's hitting the ball a foot from the baseline, making returns a foot from the baseline.
Ball to serve.
So let's see if Tommy can do anything different, whether he has the skill set to do so. Set number 3.
Fold.
Final.
Novak's ability to make meaningful returns, it's just quite extraordinary. What was that, Josh?
Someone from the crowd yelled, "Give us a wave, elbow, our Prime Minister," and he's obliged.
Fold.
Tommy's just digging in here, trying Make it as physical as possible.
Left. First service.
Mark, we had a shot of Brad Stein in the box. He's coach of Tommy Paul. A potential matchup for you, mate. Final with Stefanos Tsitsipas. I hope you got your notepad out up there.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good angle to watch a match from. Josh, you know, there's no secret, right? You just can't sit back and just be happy to rally with Novak. You've got to be willing to dictate the play, to get him off balance and take some risk, you know, to go after the ball. You've got to hurt him. Easier said than done, but it does not make it easy. That is one way to save a break point.
Yes.
Beautiful hitting from Tommy Paul here, and seeing Djokovic struggling, coming into that nicely and showing some nice hands there with that volley.
Never leave the fight, says Brad. It's just relentless. It's just wave after wave of attack. It's hard work out there. And we're taking on the best of the best on the courts and the arena that he's been the most successful at. That's one heck of a bounce smash. Best bounce smash for you, Josh. Who springs to mind?
Andy Roddick.
Was a guy who won here a lot. Had an unbelievable bounce smash. You know it. They know it.
Advantage. Djokovic.
A little bit of Hogwarts stuff here from Novak. tennis wizardry from the master.
Djokovic. First game, third set.
Somebody collapse.
Sure if we had an incident in the crowd, but both players are just waiting. I don't know if somebody collapsed in the crowd, Mark, but we hope all is okay up there.
Yeah, I'm sure it's a medical situation, but as you said, I hope everyone's okay.
Somebody who's not okay at the moment is Tommy Paul, and I can tell you some fantastic research that was done over 900 matches on Djokovic and the opponents he played. When you take out, Mark, when you take out the unreturned serves and the ace, excuse me, when you take out just the aces from Novak's side of the court, when he is returning, he puts 71% of his returns in play. When Djokovic gets the ball back, first or second serve, he wins at least 52% of the points. So when the ball comes back and you're serving, your chances of winning the point against Djokovic are less. That's how good his return is. Let's take in the first serve into consideration as well.
Crowd showing their appreciation for these two warriors. Great movement again from Tommy. I did not think he was going to get to this one. I thought this was almost perfect drop shot. Again, finding a way to get to it. Just nice little finish from Djokovic.
Digging into his manual of masterpieces once again.
It's amazing what you just said before, the stats as far as the return of serve, Robbie. That's so much pressure that's compounded over the match against his opponents.
And those numbers go up significantly when you're hitting a second serve against him.
Second service.
And that's his favorite shot, to hit the drop shot, isn't it?
He does a great job of following it in as well.
You know, he's like a good squash player, just dominating the tee there. A la Jeff Hunt in his pomp.
First service. 14-15. Cain, Djokovic.
Of course, when you couple good
Djokovic leads
serving with good
2 games
returning, it is the perfect duo. And his combo is in the Lennon-McCartney League. That's how good those two particular shots marry themselves for Novak. And you can see when he converts the earlier breaks, in other words, if he breaks within the opening 4 games of a set, he goes on to win that set 96% of the time. Just to take it one step further, Josh, when an opponent misses a first serve against Djokovic, the edge is gone forever, never to return. In his career on hard courts, he's won 56% of second serve points. The only guy who is at that number is the man you mentioned earlier, Andre Agassi. And for Andre, there's a lot of numbers missing. 4 years early on in his career, so we're not sure how that would affect Andre's numbers, but this guy's numbers when returning serve have just been off the charts. I mean, it's like he's got time to hit it for a winner, Josh.
15-13.
It's simply beautiful what we're seeing at the moment, but I think just if you are playing against Novak, how do you prepare yourself mentally for the physical challenge? I'm just not quite sure that it's spoken enough about just how demanding you know, the positions he puts you in. I mean, Tommy Paul is fit, he's a great athlete, but boy, has he been run from side to side. He's looking ragged.
I'll tell you a player, Josh, who hasn't got enough credit when he's played Djokovic, and especially here, Stan Wawrinka. He was the one guy who could go toe-to-toe with him. I mean, they had those 2 matches. I think Stan won one that we referred to, 9-7 in the 5th. I think Djokovic won the other one, 8-6 in the 5th. Well, that should be it. A double break for Novak now, you would think. There's 2 sets to love to the good as well. The finish line well within sight for Novak. Well, we've harped on about his serve, but I mean, this is the first serve return placement, folks. Mark, his ability to get the ball deep is just uncanny. Look at those numbers.
47 off the first. This is the first serve. I mean, even off the first serve, getting 46 in the middle, you're kind of happy, but to get 47 that close to the baseline is incredible.
Yeah, and you compare it to Tommy's, it's nearly as effective.
Time.
Most of his in the white zone. Djokovic streaks ahead in that department. charge of proceedings now, big time. There's Djokovic. And remember, he was 5-1 up in that opening set, and as Josh was alluding to, this could have been a lot simpler and perhaps a lot more one-sided than what the scoreboard reveals at the moment.
Semifinal. Met, first service. Dion.
One of the few times I've seen Djokovic a little off balance there and being stretched.
14.
Out of that comfort zone. That's a nice hit from Tommy. That's what he's going to have to do if he's got any chance of getting back into this match. I know he's down double break, but this is the time to do it. He's giving himself a break point. That's a beautifully measured backhand down the line from Djokovic.
Yes. Monty, Djokovic. Djokovic leads 4 against 3.
As he does so often in those important moments, finds a way to get the job done. And those are the pressure points. Novak has won twice as many as his opponent. And the way the scoring system is, it really does put a big emphasis on playing those important pressure points well. Had to get there quickly. Look at this one. What happens here? Is the racket allowed to go over the net like that? Is it?
If it bounces back over the net and you don't touch it, yes, it is.
As long as it bounces on your side first, yes, you can lean over as much as you want.
40-15.
It's average first serve return speed. Djokovic has just taken it to dizzying heights. The fastest of all the quarterfinals and then some today.
That backhand is dialed in now, Robbie.
14-13.
It just took a while to recalibrate it, didn't it? Plenty for them to ponder after this one. Questions will be asked.
Net. First service.
Tommy Paul has won a game in this third set. Trying to hang on in here. 4-1 in the third. Djokovic. Your quick thoughts on Tommy Paul, Mark, given the tournament that he's had?
Oh, it's been an incredibly positive couple of weeks from Tommy. I think you can take a look. We're talking like it's over. It's not over yet, but there's so many positive things that he's done in the last couple of weeks that I believe he can build on for this year. And the biggest part, and you know, Robbie, it's the biggest in sports, and that's self-belief. It all starts with self-belief with me, and the ability to believe you belong at the end of those 2 weeks and those biggest matches in the world, the biggest tournaments in the world against the best players in the world. And he's going to continue to build on that self-belief and that game.
Well, you talked about the belief that a run like this will give Tommy Paul, and as they like to say, Mark, in any honest accounting, training is the cake and belief is the icing. And sometimes that thin smear of frosting can make all the difference. And we'll have to see how that will manifest itself in the 2023 season for Tommy Paul. And I know one of the things that him and Brad are going to do differently this season is play fewer events. He played 26 tournaments last year. What a way to start the current season.
Tell you what, when you play the big tournaments well like this in semi-final of a Grand Slam, you can have a little more rest.
Just a little footnote for Tommy Paul as well. You know, he played well at the end of last year, Mark. He made the quarterfinals of Paris-Bercy, but it still wasn't enough points to get him seeded here. Because he won Stockholm the year before, so he lost those points.
Well, it's going to all change now after this Australian Open, Robbie.
Oh, that's too good. That is simply too good. And the American missed out on getting seeded here, Mark, by 1 spot.
Wow.
And it's, you know what that's like. You can think, oh, you've been hard done by, but
it could end up working to your advantage too.
Yeah, and that's what it did in the second round when he beat Davidovich Fokina. Yeah, when the seedings for this tournament came out on the 9th of January, he was 1 spot behind Botic van der Zandschulp, who snuck in the last seed here. But today, he's coming unstuck against superior opposition, and not just any opposition, but the best to ever grace this centre court. The length is otherworldly once again.
Djokovic, new balls, please. Djokovic leads 5 games to 1.
If there is a time to look ahead, it might be now. I was just having a look at Djokovic's record against Stefanos. Of course, you're part of the Tsitsipas camp. And for those who don't know, Djokovic leads that head-to-head 10-2. He's won the last 9. So for those Tsitsipas fans, I'm going to point you back to that match they played in Bercy, the tail end of last year, when Steph came oh so close in that deciding set tiebreak. He was serving at 4-3, 2 serves to come. He was in a good position there against Djokovic. And perhaps more, just a little bit more belief, given what's happened now this year so far.
Yeah, Robbie, he put himself in the winning position in that tiebreaker, but just fell a little short. But, you know, they played again in the ATP finals in the first match, round robin, and I think it was 4-6 for Djokovic. As you said, Djokovic has the comfortable lead, but, you know, Steph has those weapons. I believe Steph is physically stronger than he was last year. I believe the racket's coming off, you know, the ball's coming off his racket heavier. But more importantly, I believe he's in a stronger place mentally.
That's good stuff from Tommy Paul. I can't help, Mark, but think back to the very first match that Steph played this season.
14-15.
The manner in which he played the third set tiebreaker against Grigor Dimitrov. We were both there in Perth, and he was so dialed in, and I think it just got him off to the best possible start this season.
Like you said, it makes that big difference. You're either 1-0 to start the year or 0-1, right?
Mm.
And he kept rolling just like Djokovic is doing right here.
14-13.
Wrecking ball of a return. Still hanging on in there, but only just. Out of the change of ends, Djokovic will serve for a place in his 10th Australian Open final. Well, Mark, a very different performance, I guess, for a set and a half from Novak, but seems to have found something here towards the end of it.
You know, that start was a little unlike Novak. He, even when he was up 5-1, there was a lot of unforced errors, and then he definitely lost focus there and got to 5-all, but again, found a way to get through. And since then, he's just been locked in as far as the ground strokes, and especially on that backhand side. And confidence is growing, and is looking to finishing it off right now.
Djokovic serving for a place in Sunday's showpiece final. Tommy Paul for in this match is effort.
No, I mean, he leaves it all on the court. An incredible mover, and again, just showing his athleticism there. Getting that toughest one back, but unfortunately, again, just missing the easier one.
Second service. 30 love. Love.
Well, since Djokovic won that opening set, he has been the conductor. Climb into a galaxy of his own. He will be going for title number 10 at the Australian Open on Sunday. He beats Tommy Paul in straight sets, 7-5, 6-1, 6-2.
Yeah, Djokovic, I mean, we're not surprised. A little slow start, but found his groove from the baseline. Moving fantastic and rhythm on the serve as well. And what can I say? He did what he had to do, and his 10th final. That's just incredible to say out loud. 10th Australian Open final. Wow.
And for this man, I can't help but think of the words of the great Ed Moses, one of the greatest track and field runners of all time. And he was the one who said, Mark, losing is not the end. In fact, it is only the beginning of the inner dialogue upon which progress depends. And he will come away from this tournament and this loss today a better player for it.
Without a doubt, it's been an incredible 2 weeks run for Tommy. A lot of positive things to take away, a lot of things to sit down with Brad and to build on. But it's been a hell of a start to the year for him.
And Novak Djokovic with the chance to reacquaint himself with Norman Brooks, one of his favorite friends here in Australia. 9 times he has held Norman in his arms. Of course, the trophy that is the men's singles winner here, and he will go for La Decima on Sunday against Stefanos Tsitsipas. Wasn't the best opening set, but once he settled into this match, he was in a league of his own, and he loves this court. It has given him a lot of joy. Missed out last year, but is reunited this year. Great stuff from Tommy Paul. Let's not forget, just missed out on the seedings, but has made it all the way through to the final 4. And it took the best of the best to get the better of him. Novak just taking care of his fans. Always nice to share a little bit of a tennis swag with them. Well, he's taken care of one American. Can he deal with Jim Courier?
Okay, Novak, let's start with you and your fans. You just spent some extra moments there, taking some towels to them, just thanking them for their support. What does their support mean to you out here?
It means everything. It means everything, especially at this stage of my career. You know, I need that engine. You know, I need that energy, and I'm really thankful that I still have enough gas, you know, in my legs to be able to play in this level. You know, in one of the biggest tennis courts in the world.
That leads me to the next question, which was that you started out great, and Tommy came back in that first set. You got through it, but the second set, the points were really physical early, and both of you were struggling, you know, to get air. Where is your energy level compared to how you would like it to be at this stage of a tournament?
It's great. It's perfect. It's 110%.
Okay. Stefanos, turn your TV off, Stefanos. Turn the volume down. Turn away. All right, give us the real answer.
Yeah. Stefanos here in 2 days.
Okay.
No. Look, of course, you're not as fresh as at the beginning of the tournament, that's for sure. But we put in a lot of hours throughout the off-season weeks in our fitness and on the tennis court. A lot of work in order to be in a good enough, so to say, condition to play best of 5. And I know what's expecting me. I've been in this situation so many times before in my career, and I think experience helps also. But you know, obviously on the court, moment to moment, point to point, it's a great battle. First of all with yourself, and then of course the opponent. So you don't have much time between the points, you know. So some long rallies, you could really feel them. We both had the heavy legs, you know, I think in the first set. But yeah, I was really fortunate to kind of hold my nerves. I think towards the end of the first set, it was a key. You know, after that I started swinging through the ball more. So, you know, I'm just really pleased to get through another final.
It was on this date 15 years ago when you played your first final, and it was on this court, and you won your first title here. Could you have imagined that 15 years later you'd be playing in going for your 10th Australian Open, your 22nd major title, still be out here on tour doing it at this level? Could you have imagined 15 years ago that you'd still be around?
I have pretty vivid and strong imagination, but I don't think I've imagined things to be this way, the way they turned out. What can I say? I'm super blessed and grateful. That's all I can say. I'm really trying to marvel and cherish every moment. I know that you know, without my family, without my team, things wouldn't be possible. You know, obviously, you're by yourself. It's an individual sport, so all eyes are on you. You're by yourself on the court. You take the responsibility. You take the credit as well. But I think we have to give credit where credit is due, and that's, you know, that's the team that day in, day out lives with me through my good and bad moments. And I thank them for their support. And this is their success as much as it's mine.
Well, there will be two teams on Sunday, your team and Stefanos' team in the stands, two players on the court, and it'll be a rematch of a Roland Garros final from a couple of years ago that was a real challenging one. What are your recollections of that match, and let's look ahead and your expectations for the final here on Sunday?
Well, I won that match, so my recollections are very positive. But I was 2-0 down, and I think it was the first time that I came back from 2-0 down in a Grand Slam final. So it was also, I think, his first Grand Slam final, and it was a really physical, mental, emotional battle. It always is with Stefanos. You know, I respect him a lot. You know, he has improved over the years. I actually think he's actually one of the most interesting guys on the tour. You know, with his interest off the court and his hairstyle and all. But it's all business on Sunday for both of us, you know. Let the better player win.
We're looking forward to that. There's a lot at stake. Clearly, it's a huge moment in his career. It's another big moment in your career. The #1 ranking is also at stake. Whoever wins will be #1. Does that add a little extra juice for the match?
Well, of course it does. I mean, you know, winning Grand Slams and being the #1 in the world is probably the two biggest peaks that you can climb as a professional tennis player. So, yeah, let's see what happens.
Let's do it. Novak Djokovic into his 10th final here in Melbourne Park.
Mark, you'll be in the other camp on Sunday.
Yeah, Robbie, I mean, like you said, there's a lot on the line. A lot on the line for Steph. Trust me, he knows. But he's worked hard in the off-season, and I believe he's ready to take him on.
Thank you, mate. Well done.
Well, the fans have been delighted. Those who have come here over the years, I've seen him win on 9 previous occasions. But you've got to be able to live with this guy physically. Does Steph tick that box?
Yes, yes, he does.
Mentally?
I believe he is right now. He's in the place.
You need weapons to hurt Djokovic.
Yeah, he's got some weapons on him, Robbie.
You need to be able to finish points off at the net.
He's working on that, and it's getting better.
It certainly is. So the ingredients are there. But the big question is, can Steph put them all together in Sunday's final? It'll be the second final that Tsitsipas competes in at a Grand Slam. And Mark, he would have learned a lot. It would have been a hard lesson to learn, as Jim mentioned, at the French Open, but still invaluable lessons. Quick look at the numbers. What jumps out for you?
Look, he didn't have the highest percentage of first serves, but he got the job done. You know, 12 aces. He served well when he needed to. Got some double faults, but the winners, they went to another level that second and third set with 31. Unforced errors, 39. Most of those came from that first set.
Yeah, and I can tell you, Djokovic is back. And remember, we were talking about that. 14 unforced errors in the opening set alone, Mark. In the next 2, just 5.
Yeah, they're more his numbers.
That's when he tightened things up, and in the end, he runs away a winner. So there it is, Tsitsipas versus Djokovic. Mentioned the head-to-head, mentioned the fact that Novak has won the last 9, but that's why we lace him up. You just don't know how things are going to shake out on Sunday. I wish you all the very best, Mark. Who is going to win?
Robbie, I'm going to say my boy, Stefanos Tsitsipas.
Damn straight you will. And all the best to you and your team, Mark. We look forward to Novak and Stefanos going at it hammer and tongs. We hope it's an absolute epic. And in the words of Novak, may the best man win. Hope you enjoyed today's semi-final as much as Mark and myself. Big thanks to Josh Eagle, who was courtside, and to all the tennis fans around the world. Make sure you tune in for more tennis both tomorrow for the ladies' finals and the men on Sunday. From all of us here at the Rod Laver Arena, it's good night from Melbourne.
Thank you.
Don't throw them. Just wait.
Novak, please, one last one. Thank you, Novak.
Don't throw them, guys.
When you get it,
Throw
please.
it, you lose it.
If you throw it, you lose it. Guys,
Throw it,
you lose
Thank
it.
you.
Los. Don't throw things, guys. Please don't throw them.
Sveti Sava na pomoći uvek da te čuva. Može vas isto.
Novak! Novak!
Novak!